morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Favour Johnson, Millionaire Favor. And in this video, I have something very special. I have a book called Think and Grow Rich. And I really want you guys to stay tuned to the end because there is something valuable at the end. But with that being said, I've read this book over 10 times, right? And every single time I keep coming back to this book, I always learn something more. I always learn something that I missed before or something that I skipped before. But then I stumbled upon a quote that Bob Proctor said. He said, when you read a book, again, the second, the third, the fourth time, you don't see something in the book that you didn't see before. You see something in yourself that wasn't there before. So every single time I keep coming back to this book, I keep having new realization. And Bob Proctor also says that he's been reading this book, I believe, since 1959, 69, till today. And he holds this book every day with him. And I don't do that, of course. But every time I come back to this book, it's always still as awesome. Even more as awesome. More than the first time. So Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, my favorite chapters. So I have 3 chapters that I handpicked from this book that I want to show you guys. And the reason why I chose the chapters is because, I know that you're probably listening to this audio or watching this video because you have a goal, right? Let me promise you something. As long as you don't give up, as long as you don't stop working towards your dream, you're going to make it. That's it. So the reason why I handpicked this chapters from this book is because it's kind of like just a step. The first chapter I have right here is a chapter on desire. And it is important to know what you want, right? Many times I come across people who don't know what they want. But many times people fail to see that you can literally get what you want. It's amazing. The kind of power that we have as humans, what we have, I want you to think about it. You can have what you want. But the problem is you don't know what you want. But only if you want something strong enough are you going to eventually get it. And it's vital that you choose a dream that you desire and not what you admire somebody else having. I don't want you to spend time trying to achieve something. And then when you achieve that one thing, you eventually find out that that's not actually what you wanted. And you just spent a ton of time achieving somebody else's dream because you were amazed by their success. The chapter on desire, right? It's what you feel in the heart. Some people desire to be a school teacher. Some people desire to be a billionaire. Some people desire to have a Lamborghini. Every person is different. So Napoleon Hill, in his words, says, every human being who reaches the age of understanding of the purpose of money wishes for it. Wishing will not bring riches, but desiring riches with a state of mind that becomes an obsession. Then planning definite ways and means to acquire riches and backing those plans with persistence, which does not recognize failure, will bring riches. Guys, it's just a quote, it's just a sentence, but if you read it the first time, you might understand it. If you read it the second time, you're gonna be like, shit. The third time, whoa. Guys, every human being now when he says riches, right, he doesn't really mean money, although he might use money in a sentence, but you can replace money or riches with whatever. If you want a calmness of mind, you can put it right there. Let's say in this instance, we're talking about calmness. Every human who reaches the age of understanding the purpose of calmness of mind, which is for it. You get me? You can put whatever you want. So now he says, wishes will not bring riches. Have you ever seen those people that say, hey, I'm just, if only I can just have that thing. Man, I wish this can just happen. You see, desiring riches with a state of mind that it becomes an obsession. Like you're obsessed. If somebody put you underwater and had your head underwater and you couldn't breathe, what's going to be your number one thought? I want you to think about it and really feel it in your bones. If you couldn't breathe, what's going to be processing through your head? You're going to be wanting to breathe, to have breath, to have oxygen. At that particular moment, your obsession is oxygen. You're trying to figure out a way to get this guy off your back so you can breathe, right? Then he says, then plan indefinite ways and means to acquire riches and backing those plans with persistence. You have a desire, you know what you want, and you're obsessed about it. Then you map out a plan to get in that thing that you want, right? And then you promise yourself, I am going to achieve this desire or I'm going to die trying. Now that right there is persistence. The moment that you burn the bridges and you take one foot forward, dude, girl, I'm promising you, nothing in this world will ever be in the way of you achieving your dreams. With persistence, which does not recognize failure, will bring riches. The method by which desire for riches can be transmuted into its financial equivalent consists of 6 definite practical steps. The first step, fix in your mind exactly what you desire. It is not sufficient merely to say, I want plenty of money. Be definite as to exactly what you want. So in this case, let's say that you want money, right? Many times I've met people and I'm like, hey, what do you want? They're like, man, I just want money. Okay, how much do you want? I don't know. You see, the thing is, if you bargain with life for a penny, life will pay no more. When people say I want money, right? Hey, all right, you want money, then guess what? You get money, right? Desire is like a laser being pointed at a white paper. Imagine a laser with red lights being pointed at a white paper. The laser is focusing on one spot. I want you to have your eyes like that. I want you to have your mind like that. Have your desire like that. Have your desire pointed in one direction and figure out that thing that you want. Let's say you want money, right? Laser target the money. It could be, I want to earn $1 million a year. Now you see, you are being laser targeted. Your desire is actually now taking form, and you start to feel it in your stomach, in your body. Fix in your mind exactly what you want. It is not sufficient merely to say I want plenty of money, but be definite as to exactly what you want. Second, he says, determine exactly what you intend to give in return for the money you desire. There is no such reality as something for nothing. You can't go to a restaurant and want to get food without paying the price for the food, right? You have to either give money for money, maybe you want to trade stocks, or you have to sell something valuable. You see, what's his name? Nightingale once said, our riches in life will be in direct proportion to our contribution. So if you want to measure what you're actually contributing to life, what you're giving to other people around you, just measure what you're getting back in return. So if you feel like you're not getting anything back in return, it means that you're not serving people in the scale of which you're actually supposed to serve people to get what you want. If you want to earn $1 million, that means you have to serve $1 million worth of people. You have to be of service. You have to either sell a product or you have to sell a service. Either way, there is no such reality as something for nothing. Guys, I really hope you understood number 2. Third, establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. So in my opinion, the third one is very contradictory because it can go both ways, right? Some people it works for, some people it doesn't. Like if you're new to this concept, right? And then you come out, you're like, well, I want to earn $1 million within the next 90 days. You're going to get sick. Because when time is closing by, you're going to start to feel like, what's the word now? You're going to start to feel like all the work that you're doing isn't taking place. Everything that you're doing isn't happening. Like all the work you're doing is for nothing. Like it might be the 69th day or the 88th day, and then you're like, man, I've been working my ass off. I haven't gotten anything back. Wow, what am I going to do? You start to worry, and worry leads into negative energy and negative thoughts, and negative thoughts leads into negative realities, right? So what I tend to do, what I like to tell people to do is just focus on what you want, right? And relax, right? Establish a definite date when you intend to possess the money you desire. You can do this, but I don't do this because it can also lead to a negative way of thinking if you're not careful. And there's a whole lot of philosophical ideas around this particular idea about having a date of when you intend to be successful and then work towards that date, whereas just have a goal and just set out towards it. Whichever one works for you, in my opinion, is what you should do. Figure out what works for you best. And the first one, he says, create a plan for carrying out your desire and begin at once, whether you are ready or not, to put this plan into action. As I was reading that, I was smiling and I was getting chills because it's very simple, but it's deep as hell. Create a plan for carrying out your desire. Like, you have a desire. Create a plan, step by step, for carrying out your desire, to bringing this dream into reality. Create a plan. And then as soon as you create the plan, right, begin at once. Not tomorrow, not the next hour, not the next second. Hell, not even the next millisecond. Begin right now. Right now. Begin at once. Whether you are ready or not, whether you have the resources or not, whether you have the contacts to make or not, whether you got the money to get started or not, it's your desire. He says if you desire something that it becomes an obsession, you will eventually achieve it. If you really desire what you say you desire and you map out a plan and you start right now, whether you are ready or not, the rest is history. It's gonna come. The fifth, write out a clear, concise statement of the amount of money you intend to acquire. Name the time limit for its acquisition. State what you intend to give in return for the money, and describe clearly the plan through which you intend to accumulate the money. What you say is money, you can put whatever you want. He just uses the word money because it appeals to 90% of the people, right? You can put whatever you want. If your desire is to get a hot chick, hell, that's your desire, right? If your desire is to become, ripped and shredded, that's your desire. Whatever it is that you deeply desire, put it in there. The sixth one, read your written statement aloud twice daily. Once just before retiring at night, and once after arising in the morning. As you read, see, and feel, and believe yourself already in possession of the money. Guys, this goes to affirmations, right? And the thing is that when you're writing your affirmations, right, once you figure out that thing that you want and you write it down on a sheet of paper, right, write it as if it's already happening. If you desire a Lamborghini, say, I am now happy and grateful. I am so happy and grateful now that I am now driving my Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Roadster. And as you're saying that, picture yourself riding your Lamborghini. Picture yourself with your left hand out the door while your right hand is on the steering wheel. Picture yourself flooring this thing down through I-95 freeway. Picture yourself doing burnout. Feel it. See, feel, and believe yourself already in possession of your desire. Already in possession of what you want right now. And guys, the next chapter, the chapter on faith. I love this chapter on faith because of my personal experience. Honestly, you will find out that the hardest thing to do when you get started with this process or practice is to constantly have faith and believe in yourself. But it's very crucial that faith is here. It's very crucial that you have faith. Faith is the emotional driving factor which gives us belief in ourselves, which makes our wheels move into action. But many times we don't have faith. So how can we achieve a big goal if we lack faith? If we lack the number one chemical that is needed to achieving a goal, Many times they might look at your goal and you're like, how the fuck am I supposed to achieve this, man? This is just too fucking big. It happens. And if you're like the rare 2% that it doesn't happen to, then you're a top dog. But if it does, you're still a top dog. Don't let that bring you down. Faith is an emotion. Just like how you feel emotions from time to time. By the time I go through this chapter on faith, you will get an understanding of how to implement faith into your goals. I just read this. Faith is the head chemist of the wind. When faith is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translate it into spiritual equivalent, and transmit it to infinite intelligence, as in the case of prayer. Faith is a state of mind which may be induced or created by affirmations or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind through the principle of autosuggestion. Autosuggestion in this case means affirmations. Faith is a state of mind which you develop at will. After you have mastered the 13 principles, because it's a state of mind which develops voluntarily through applications and use of these principles. Repetition of affirmations of orders to your subconscious mind is the only known method and voluntary development of the emotion of faith. The last part right there, guys. If you want to build faith, right, write down your desire, just like in the chapter of on desire, what Napoleon said. Write down your desire in words of an affirmation that is already happening right now. So let's go back to the Lamborghini. You want a Lamborghini? I am so happy and grateful now that I am driving my Lamborghini Aventador. I'm so happy and grateful now that I own a Lamborghini Aventador SVJ Roadster. And you can put the color, you can put the wheels, and it's crucial that you picture yourself, because right here, faith, repetition of affirmations of orders to your subconscious mind is the only known method of voluntary development of the emotion of faith. To have faith in something that you want, to believe that this thing can come into reality, is to constantly read this thing to your subconscious mind. And right here, back to the first chapter, the second sentence, when faith is blended with the vibration of thoughts, right? You're reading this desire, right? And you're feeling this emotion, and you're connecting this feeling with your thought, meaning your imagination of what you actually want in reality. The subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration. The subconscious mind, guys, is limitless. It doesn't know right from wrong. It only knows what it gets. And once you put in faith, which is blended with the vibration of thought, the subconscious mind instantly picks up the vibration, translate it into a spiritual equivalent, and transmit it to infinite intelligence, as in the case of prayer. So what this is doing, right? If you haven't read Born Rich by Bob Proctor, I strongly advise you to read it. I'll put a link right here in the top right corner. I made a link of how the subconscious mind I made a video of how the subconscious mind works. Click on it after this video and see what I was talking about, because I think you might have a deeper understanding, right? The subconscious mind is like a magnet. What you put into it, your subconscious mind is kind of like it's your blueprint. It's how you function deeply on the inside. It's how you move, how you act. So once you mix faith with your desire and you constantly read it to your subconscious mind, it becomes a part of your blueprint, your subconscious mind. And because your subconscious mind is how you act and conduct yourself every day, right? Who you are right now is what your blueprint is. So once you add your desire into your blueprint, eventually your subconscious mind will conduct your physical movements, right? I hope you're following me. Will conduct your physical movements to bringing about this desire into reality. Perhaps the meaning may be made clear. through the following explanation as to the way men sometimes become criminals. Stated in the words of a famous criminologist, when men first come into contact with crime, they abhor it. If they remain in contact with crime for a time, they become accustomed to it and endure it. If they remain in contact with it long enough, they finally embrace it and become influenced by it. This is the equivalent of saying that any impulse of thought, which is repeatedly passed on to the subconscious mind, is finally accepted and acted upon by the subconscious mind, which proceeds to translate that impulse into its physical equivalent by the most practical procedure available. Did you get that? This is the equivalent of saying that any impulse of thought, which is repeatedly passed on to the subconscious mind, is finally accepted and acted upon by the subconscious mind, which proceeds to translate that impulse into its physical equivalent by the most practical procedure available. Just what I was saying. You read your desire out loud every day like it's already happening. It becomes a blueprint of your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind acts it out in reality and brings about this dream into fruition. To make this deceit more realistic, conduct yourself just as you would if you were already in possession of the material thing which you are demanding. When you call upon your subconscious mind, to make this deceit more realistic, conduct yourself just as you would if you were already in possession of the material thing which you are demanding when you call upon your subconscious mind. So when you're reading your affirmations to your subconscious mind, I want you to act as if you already had it. When you're walking down the street, act as if you own a Lamborghini. Let's say you ride the bus, right? Picture yourself not entering the bus, picturing yourself entering a Lamborghini. Now, I'm using the word Lamborghini just because it's easier for me, because that's one of my goals, right? You replace your own desire, right? Act like a person, like the person you want to be when you own a Lamborghini. Walk like the person you feel like you want to walk like when you own a Lamborghini. Talk like a person who owns a Lamborghini, like the person you feel like you want to talk like. The mind comes finally to take on the nature of the influences which dominate it. Understand this truth, guys. The mind comes finally to take on the nature of the influences which dominate it. You see, the funny thing is that environment influences us. We are now what we are because of where we were, right? You are acting the way you were acted because of how you were raised and where you are right now. If you want a better reality, create a better environment. When you're reading your desire to your subconscious mind, you're creating a new environment in your life, in your mind. And your mind will come and finally take on the nature of the influence which you will read into it, which is constantly being impressed upon your subconscious mind because it's dominating it. And you must understand this truth. And you will know why it is essential for you to encourage positive emotions as dominating forces of your mind and discourage and eliminate negative emotion. A mind which is filled with negative emotions will bring about negative results. A mind which is filled with positive, constructive emotions will bring about positive results in your life. I really hope you felt me right there, guys. I know somebody felt me. You felt me, didn't you? If your mind is filled with negative thoughts, your body will move into action and bring about negative results. If your mind is filled with positive thoughts, your body will move into action and bring about positive results. So in this case, if your mind is filled with your desire, your goal, that thing which you're deeply obsessed for, your body will move into action and bring about this desire. So make sure it's positive and constructive. Every man is what he is because of the dominating thoughts which he permits to occupy his mind. Thoughts which a man deliberately places in his own mind and encourages with sympathy, and with which he mixes any one or more of the emotions, constitute the motivating forces which direct and control his every movement, act, and every man is what he is because of the dominating thought which he permits to occupy his mind. Guys, every single day that you walk, that you talk, I want you to consciously not allow negative thoughts to come into your head. When a negative thought comes into your head, right, immediately replace that negative thought with what you desire. Use that opportunity to build a stronger connection to map this desire to your subconscious map. Thoughts which a man deliberately places in his own mind and encourages with sympathy, and with which he mixes any one or more of the emotions, constitute the motivating forces which direct and control his every movement, act, and deed. Thoughts which are mixed with any feelings of emotions constitute a magnetic force which attracts from the vibrations of the ether. Other similar or related thoughts. A thought does magnetize with emotion may be compared to a seed which when planted in fertile soil germinates, grows, and multiplies itself over and over again until that which was organically once small becomes countless millions of seeds of the same brand. And finally, guys, the last chapter of my favorite chapters on persistence. If you stay tuned to a tourist displays right now, if you're here right now, you're a real G. I respect you and I love you. And I promise you that whatever it is that you set your mind to, you're going to get it. Persistence is the essential factor in the procedure of transmuting desire into its monetary equivalent. The basis of persistence is the power of will. Persistence is an essential factor. I can't read. In the procedure of transmuting desire into its monetary equivalent. The basis of persistence is the power of will. The majority of people are ready to throw their aims and purpose overboard and give up at the first sign of opposition or misfortune. Wow. A few carry on despite all opposition until they attain their goal. As I'm reading this thing, right, I just can't explain. I just can't stop smiling because it really calls out a lot of people. Thomas Edison, they say, and what I've read and learned is that he tried 10,000 times to perfect the incandescent light bulb. And if you go back here, Napoleon says, the majority of people are ready to throw their aims and purpose overboard. They're ready to throw their dreams and goals overboard. What they're fighting for, what they want, and give up at the first sign of opposition or misfortune. At the first sign of failure, at the first no, at the first it can't be done, at the first people not believing in them, they give up because, what, they're afraid? But only a few carry on despite all opposition until they attain their goal. Guys, this right here, to me, is the definition of persistence. If you carry on despite all opposition, you will attain your goal. Now, if you go back here, he says, The basis of persistence is the power of will. For you to carry on despite all opposition until you achieve your goal is to what? Maintain willpower. Lack of persistence is one of the major causes of failure. Did you feel that? Lack of persistence is one of the major causes of failure. It is a weakness which may be overcome by effort. The ease with which lack of persistence may be conquered will depend entirely upon the intensity of your desire. There are people who say they want something, right? And the next day they say they want something else. And the next day they want something else. Those people, forgive me, might not actually accomplish what they say they actually want. Because they wish, they don't desire. We get inspired to achieve success by inspiration or desperation. Weak desires bring weak results, just as a small amount of fire makes a small amount of heat. If you find yourself lacking in persistence, this weakness may be remedied by building a stronger fire under your desire. If you find you are weak in persistence, surround yourself with a mastermind group. Through the cooperative effort of the members of this group, you can develop persistence. So this also means by who you surround yourself with is who you become, right? If you surround yourself with people who want more like you do, let's say you're an entrepreneur and you're different from the people around you, you keep thinking about ideas and you want to take action, but the people around you just want to drink and have fun, you need to surround yourself with people who think like that. People who are dreamers and chasers and goal achievers and who are better than you. Because when you do that, through the cooperative efforts of the members of this group, you can develop persistence. When things happen to you, right? Because you're going to see your friend keep going. He's going to inspire you to keep going without even using words. When you're down, your friends will come and say, yo, Joe, what's up, man? And you can be like, man, I lost a deal today, man. They're going to be like, bro, don't give up. Because they know what it's like. They know that to achieve the goal, they have to be persistent. Poverty is attracted to the one whose mind is favorable to it, as money is attracted to him whose mind has been deliberately prepared to attract it. And through the same laws, this goes back to the chapter of desire and faith. Writing down your affirmation and thinking about it, and it becomes a map in your subconscious. Poverty consciousness will voluntarily seize the mind which is not occupied with money consciousness. Did you get that? Many times people don't have a certain type of conscious. They roll on autopilot, right? So whatever your brain map is set as, that's what you're gonna get. So right now I want you to take a look at your life and take a look at your bank account, right? What you have is exactly what you've been attracting. By no means am I saying you have a poverty consciousness, but you know exactly where you are. So if you want more, all you simply have to do is just do the alternative and make sure that your mind is filled with money consciousness or whatever it is your goal is. A poverty consciousness develops without conscious applications of habits favorable to it. A poverty consciousness develops without conscious applications of habits favorable to it. The money consciousness must be created to order, unless one is born with such a consciousness. Oh my gosh. Without persistence, you will be defeated, even before you start. With persistence, you will win. Be persistent, no matter how slowly you may at first have to move. With persistence will come success. Guys, sometimes you have a goal, right? And you're starting and you're walking. And sometimes you don't know where to start. Just start and just move. If you have to crawl, then crawl. Because you started crawling, you will eventually fly. But you have to crawl. There is no substitute for persistence. It cannot be supplanted by any other quality. Remember this, and it will hearten you. In the beginning, when the going may seem difficult and slow. Let me read that again because I read it wrong. There is no substitute for persistence. It cannot be supplanted by any other quality. Remember this, and it will hearten you in the beginning, when the going may seem difficult and slow. I want you to really take that in because I actually just understood this a little bit deeper right now. There is no substitute for persistence. You can't change it. You can't replace it with any other thing. It cannot be supplanted by any other quality. Remember this, and it will hearten you in the beginning when the going may seem difficult. So what I just understood from this right now is that when you're starting this process to achieving what you want, right? There is no other way to get what you want unless you just persist through all the difficulty, through all the feeling like it's not happening, through all the feeling like no matter what I'm doing today, I'm not getting it. Those are just feeling. But guess what? The reality is that when you persist, you eventually achieve. It cannot be supplanted by any other quality. Remember this, and it will hearten you in the beginning when the going may seem difficult and slow. Persistence, when you have your eye on the goal and the objective, persistence is the only known way to get that which you want. No matter what your mind is telling you, you just know that you have to persist. Have your eyes on the ball and what? Persist. Those who have cultivated the habit of persistence seem to enjoy insurance against failure. No matter how many times they are defeated, they finally arrive on top the ladder. They finally arrive up toward the top of the ladder. I want you to see that. Those who have cultivated the habit of persistence seem to enjoy insurance against failure. Now, failure is not failure. When you fail, it doesn't make you a failure. Temporary defeat doesn't mean that you have failed. It means you have just figured out a way how to not do that which you want to accomplish. Failure is failure when you stop persisting. So by the time you stop taking action towards your dream, you are therefore a failure. You have failed yourself and you have failed the people who you were supposed to serve. But when you persist through all no's and obstacles and rejection, you are not failing, but you are succeeding. Because there is no substitute for persistence. When you are proceeding through the obstacles and rejections, you are just going through the walls, opening the doors, climbing the stairs that will eventually get you to where you want to go. And when you get to the stairs, you will have lessons that will teach you on what you are supposed to learn to be able to handle the type of success you are yet to achieve. Persistence is the state of mind. Therefore, it can be cultivated. Like all state of mind, persistence is based upon definite causes, among them these. Definiteness of purpose. Knowing what one wants is the first and perhaps the most important step toward the development of persistence. A strong motive forces one to surmount many difficulties. If you know what you want and it's your obsession, trust me, I don't think you're ever going to lack in persistence. Second one, desire. It is comparatively easy to acquire and to maintain persistence in pursuing the object of intense desire. I'm sorry for my reading, guys. I'm so sorry. Self-reliance. Belief in one's ability to carry out a plan encourages one to follow through with persistence. Self-reliance can be developed through the principle described in the chapter on autosuggestion. That's another chapter in the book. By the way, guys, if you want to read this book, I'm going to put a link down below. I have the free PDF version, so if you haven't read it, I'd advise you to read it. Better still, I advise you to get the paperback version. It's if it feels different when you read it with the book in your arms. And the fourth one, definiteness of plans, organized plans, even though they may be weak and entirely impractical, encourages persistence. You have a goal, map out a plan, and start. If you start and you see your plan isn't getting you what you want, change your plan. Excuse the Johnny Appleseed right there. And the fifth one, accurate knowledge, knowing that one's plans are sound based upon experience or observation, encourages persistence. Guessing instead of knowing destroys persistence. So when you start your plan, right, obviously as you persist, you're going to be changing your plans based on the knowledge you're getting about your objective. And when you start doing that, you're going to replace guessing with knowing. And then the sixth one, cooperation, sympathy, understanding, and harmonious cooperation with others tend to develop persistence. In this case, this can go back to the mastermind, having a bunch of people who are direct relation with who you want to be, where you want to be. And then the seventh one, willpower, the habit of concentrating one's thought upon the building of plans for the attainment of definite purpose leads to persistence. You focus your thought to build plans. You focus your thought on your objective. You stay focused and rebuke and reject distractions. Habit. Persistence is the direct result of habit. The mind absorbs and becomes a part of the daily experience upon which it feeds. Fear, the worst of all enemies, can be effectively cured by forced repetition of courage. Excuse that. Everyone who has seen active service in war knows this. So guys, when you have fear, right? Sometimes fear happens, right? But fear is just false evidence appearing real. But when you have courage to look at what you want and you're like, wow, man, I really want that. And you're determined to get it. And then you replace the emotion of fear with courage. You take action and you go and get that what you want. And guys, that is the end, man. That's it. I really hope that you enjoyed this. This video was about almost 40 minutes long. I really hope you found value in this. Now, what I promised you at the end of the video was just something to let you know that I want you to listen to me right now. And I really want you to really listen to me right now. Whatever it is that you set your mind to, whatever it is that you deeply desire, whatever it is that you want, I want you to know that as long as you don't give up, as long as you see the vision and you persist towards the vision, eventually you're going to achieve it. I want you to know that. And with that being said, I want you to know that don't give up. Don't stop. Don't stop striving. And this is your boy Favour Johnson, Millionaire Favour, and have a fabulous day. I love you. Peace.